Shadow of Intent dropped a new album, Imperium Delirium.
How fun. I love that
I'm
name.
being
Sorry.
honest with you. The only reason why we covered this album rollout was so that I would get to say that album title.
That
So
was
we don't
it.
even have to review the record. Thanks, everybody. On to the next one.
We're done. Hot
But
milk. Dropped the new.
but yeah, I really have been digging the singles off of this so far. Shadow of Intent is such a fantastic band. I like to dabble in my deathcore here and there. This is a fantastic example of that. This is a record that I could see myself coming back to, and the reason why is because it's melodic deathcore. So there's a little bit more for me to follow throughout the music, which, when you're just going balls to the wall screaming at me, I need something to follow,
to hold on to.
yes.
Yeah.
And melodic deathcore allows me to find a little something to follow. And the first half of the record is kind of just like straight up in your face, very ballsy, and just so much going on, and I love that portion of the album. But the second half of the record is where that melody for me really starts to shine, and it doesn't tame out necessarily, because the record is absolutely nuts for the entire time you're listening. But I do notice a slight shift in the record, and it just for me becomes a little bit more digestible, and that comes around the facets of propaganda. That song and Feeding the Meat Grinder are my two favorites off the record. That 1-2 punch is nuts. Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse on this record is just absolutely fucking insane. But I've been digging this record. I've actually been spending a little bit of time with it, because like I said, I'm picky with my deathcore. So when there is a record that comes out that blows me away, I tend to spend a good chunk of time with it. And this album has been nuts. I love the way it opens with Prepare to Die. I think that's an aptly fitting title, or title for an opening track on a record like this. Straight up just kicks you in the teeth. And then the title track, Imperium Delirium, being the closer, and that 7-minute track. I don't I complain a little less about super long songs when it is when it is super heavy music like deathcore or death metal or things of that nature, because routinely there winds up being so much going on with the song that it allows it, the 7 minutes doesn't feel like 7 minutes, and this is no exception. There's lots going on with the song, and it really fits as the closer. You couldn't put the song anywhere else. But yeah, I'm really digging this album, especially the Fastest Propaganda and Feeding the Meat Grinder, Shadow Corpse Grinder.
Damn straight. This is so your album. I listened to this record in full. I gave it the spin, and I went, "Yeah, that's metal."
Yep,
So
that's Shane right there.
There you go. So honestly, I don't have too much to say. For me personally, it's just death metal overall. It's a harder genre for me to get into. I do appreciate and fully respect every aspect of it. I mean, if you're just listening to each individual person and what they're bringing to the table and what they're adding to the track, I think it's fucking crazy. I can never do any of this in a billion years. I tried to do drums for like 2 months. Didn't last. Didn't last. You remember that era? Didn't last. So I was going through some shit. But yeah, I mean, I think it's wildly impressive. I think it's balls to the wall. I think it starts and it does not stop kicking you the entire time. I think it is definitely a record if you enjoy death metal, if you enjoy super heavy music. This is something that should be on your radar. You need to add it to your queue. You need to listen to it. Um, it fucks. I think it completely fucks. But it's not my genre.
You're not coming back to it, and that's fine.
I'm personally, I will not be coming back to it, but you will be. So that's incredible. I'm happy that you found, a new record. I do fuck with the Feeding the Meat Grinder track because I do enjoy Corpse Grinder. I'm only familiar with him because Well, firstly, Cannibal Corpse. I mean, everyone and their mother knows Cannibal Corpse. Probably not mothers, but Cannibal Corpse. People are familiar with them. But it's also I know them because of the Einstein Kills track. Take
Mhm.
your pick.
Yeah.
But so seeing that name familiarized, and it was also a single. I did enjoy the single. Um, but yeah, no, I think it's great, especially because it's technical, so that makes it a little more fun. Sorry, melodic. I
Mhm.
don't know why my brain is stuck on the word technical today because it's melodic. It makes it a little more fun for me to listen to. It's not just they're screaming at me for like an hour.
Yeah.
They're like screaming at me, but with a
With
little bit more
with some
flair.
melody behind it.
There's like a little bit of jazz in there, and I go, oh, okay, I heard that. I heard that little twinkle in the background. Okay, I fuck with it. So good.
Oh yeah.
That's our review.